Okay, start shaking it. Is it doing it?
This one is not dry enough.
Oh.
I'll try this one.
와, 단풍눈이다. Sailor moon. I guess that's cherry blossom.
Here.
아빠's gonna make some 단풍눈.
Ready?
와.
Straightening your sweater. We talk about why we're in Korea
Yeah, sure.
as we're eating our lunch.
What are we eating? Are we
Some
not talking?
leftover. Yeah.
Why are we in Korea?
You start. Many reasons, right?
Yeah, many reasons. We're here.
You should eat and talk, Yosef.
Okay. So that we can.
Well, first, you got approved to work outside of US, right?
Yeah.
And
So I can say,
I was getting really homesick, and because of COVID, we couldn't go to Korea for like we've been wanting to come for a couple years,
Yeah.
and we couldn't come. And then because of COVID, your job went remote. Well, it was remote, but it wasn't outside of US. But you got
Yeah.
approved for that.
Yeah. So
And then we were also feeling really strongly passionate about our kids learning Korean.
yeah.
I was feeling like it was really limiting to just
Yeah.
speak Korean just myself.
Yeah. And so yeah, I guess yeah, that's a important reason for me, just having Korean cultural exposure and language for kids while they're young, and I think also to be closer to your parents, which we haven't really been,
Yeah.
close to.
Yeah.
And for you to be with your mom, and you miss Korea a lot too, and I do too, so that's part of the reason.
Was there
And,
anything else?
yeah.
Was there any other reason? Well, and we might potentially live in Korea, right?
Yeah. Isn't another reason that we were not really wanting to get a house or
We-
something?
Well, we were trying, and then the housing market went really competitive, and we weren't sure if we were ready to put everything we had into. I think we just weren't sure if we were ready to
Yeah.
settle down.
Yeah. And we
Settle
thought,
down in US.
Yeah, so another thing is kind of doing that more traditional, getting a house. That would have been challenging for us, and kind of force us to kind of live a certain kind of life.
Or live in one country.
Yeah,
And,
and it would be hard. We'd be more kind of tied down to, paying off a house and working and having the kids go to a certain type of school, and so yeah. So that's related, but yeah. So I think part of it for me is just having the flexibility, and there's trade-offs. I mean, of course we want to have a house, but we also want to travel and be with family and have these experiences while young, and yeah. So I think
toxic is different. I don't know.
it's different.
In different size. But yeah, I think so. Is what we're doing kind of like digital nomad? Are we doing that?
Kind of.
But I guess it was only possible because of my parents. We couldn't have just. I mean, we did get rid of a lot of stuff in US and put stuff in storage thanks to Yosef's parents. We could keep some stuff there, and we also got rid of a bunch of stuff like
Yeah. Yeah,
and then
you sold a lot of stuff. And
yeah. And so I guess it is kind of like a digital nomad, but we're not like doing it just completely our own.
Yeah.
Like it's not.
Yeah, I mean, we have family in Korea and Kenya.
Yeah.
And so we're kind of, you know, we have those opportunities, so why not take advantage of them?
Yeah.
And so we have the opportunity to do that, so that's what we're doing. And
so how has it been so far? Well, like for kids, their Korean has improved a lot, right? Like Yosef.
You have been studying Korean since like 2011, 10, on and off, not like fully. Yeah, I would say, I only really studied a couple years when I was in college. But my point was you're impressed with our 3-year-old language. And then how he can use like the grammar that you are studying. Yeah, that you naturally.
Complete, because they just absorb. Whereas with our first child, the 8-year-old, he's in elementary school here. We send them both to just like something equivalent to like public schools. And I guess he's a lot more stressed because he's older. There's a lot more schoolwork.
Yeah.
But his Korean also has improved a lot.
Yeah.
Because
So
he can fully write in Korean and
they
write
understand.
diaries. And I guess
he does a journal for school.
One of the biggest reasons for me that I wanted them to learn Korean was I wanted them to be able to talk to my parents and keep that connection and have that, so they're not so far removed. Like my parents could speak English, but it's not their first language, and it's much faster for my kids to learn and meet them where they are than for them to have to pick up a new culture and language. And
so our older one, Cheo, who is 8, I mean, he speaks Korean and understands, and Iru, who is now 3, he does as well. But when we came here, he didn't really speak as much, but within the first couple months, he quickly just kind of blossomed and learned how to speak, and so he's kind of really like rapidly acquiring the language, and that's it's really cool to see how natural
I mean,
it is.
I would say he was maybe even like less than 5 if his language was like 100%, 95% was English, right? He was and
now he even
dreams.
he dreams and talks in his sleep in Korean too, so and I'm at the point where I can learn from both Cheo and Iru. There's certain things that maybe like I know I have certain vocabulary advantage, but they can understand more naturally, and they understand the grammar, or so I kind of have like 2 other people that I can practice my Korean with.
And I guess our point is that just the environment and the exposure to Korean, like we don't do anything special now that we're in Korea to like teach them Korean, but it's just their, like especially our youngest one, like he doesn't really do any kind of Korean studying, right? It's all just hearing and absorbing. And I guess with our first one too, he does do like writing things, but we don't do any other things, and he's improved a lot. Like remember, like when we were first flying here, he heard some people talking in Korean and on the plane, and he was like so shocked, and he was giving me the looks like, "Oma, people are talking in Korean." I guess that's how far removed we were, because I guess we have to add that because we lived in like Ohio and South Dakota and
in the US, United States.
I didn't have a lot of like Korean friends or any community. I don't go to like Korean gatherings or anything like that, so it was just me speaking Korean. So it was like eye-opening. It was like
So how long have we been here, and how long will we stay here?
Well, we've been here for like what, 4 or 5 months, and we're gonna be here till December. We hope we will come back and maybe perhaps even live
we'll
here.
See.
But live close to my parents, but that's the unknown. So I guess for now we're only staying here till December. That's decided. Like I think that we could have also stayed longer, but I think that one of the hardest thing is for Cheo, right? Like to adjust to school and the school.
Both of them though, right? Because the school is more traditional. That's a trade-off, not everything is kind of perfect and ideal. Cheo in the US, his first school was more of a non-traditional school, kind of individualized and learner focused, and it was the Antioch school in Ohio, and
But even in public school,
yeah,
he didn't feel this much stress about like the schoolwork.
yeah,
In Korea, he's second grade in Korea. He finished maybe like 2/3 of second grade in US and came here, and he started like towards the end of first semester of Korean public school, and they have to do like the multiplication table.
yeah,
So I don't remember Cheo coming home when we were in US, like having to like have homeworks or
Yeah.
have to
Yeah.
memorize some things and go back home, go back to school with some kind of
Yeah.
practice. Whereas here, everybody has, everybody is kind of caught up, and they're just more schoolwork in general. Like they're just more load.
yeah. So it can be stressful, and that's not something that we, like we agree with or we think that is the best way to learn. But
Yeah.
we're kind of doing the trade-off for the language and culture and just exposure, and that's why we're planning to do it, just for the rest of this year, and then kind of reevaluate after that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the system, I guess Korea has really good infrastructure when it comes to childcare. You
Yeah.
have options.
Yeah.
You have, like if you're a working mom,
Yeah.
well, maybe I shouldn't say it has really good structure, but it seems like it has options for you.
Definitely better than the US.
Especially if you have young children, you have
Yeah.
you have options to send your kids to places. The government pays for the really young
Childcare?
ones. Yeah,
Yeah.
for the really young ones. And also another thing is the insurance system here is really good. Like for my kids, like if they have anything, we don't have to try to Google
Yeah.
what's going on. We can just take them and so yeah. Was there anything else about Korea? Well, what was it like for you to live at your Korean in-laws with my parents?
It's been good. Lots of course it's different because we're in most people live in big high-rise apartments, so we're on the 23rd floor. We have to go down the elevator if we ever want to go outside and play in the playground, so that's different.
So you kind of have, what is it, the phobia
Phobia?
of like the cluster or
Claustrophobia? Yeah, I wouldn't say it's that bad because there's enough space, but it is still kind of a hassle to go all the way down. But we've adjusted to it, and there's lots of things that we can do here that we couldn't do in the U.S. or other places. We have lots of things that are really convenient, and lots of good food that your mom makes, and they're.
I know I have to try to learn, or at least put some on.
Yeah.
Record her cooking, but she cooks like. She just cooks like it's just like she washes her face. It's like
Yeah.
she can't really give directions, or she can't really like point me to. So but she cooks. I guess it's also because I'm also biased because I grew up eating her food, and that's the food
Yeah.
I think is the best. So, but
So-
yeah, we should try to learn some of her food and stuff.
Yeah, so we're planning to go to Kenya after this in December, and so we're just thinking, because I think one of the hard things for you, Sumi, would be to like having food that you're comfortable with if we go out of Korea. So
Well, I've lived. It's only like that because as I'm, I think, getting older, I've lived outside of Korea basically since like all my 20s, and
yeah,
but as I'm getting older, I crave more of the food, the childhood food that I grew up eating,
Yeah.
and so yeah.
No, I will. And again, okay?
Okay.
And then one more time.
Okay.
And I'll show you it with
This is this is what you learned at school, right?
Yeah.
How the
And
kids
then I'll show this one too.
they made this, and they were doing like a
And then there's also this one.
spinning game on their recess.
And there's also one.
These are like the math blocks.
Taylor, look at how my sword can shoot. You ready? Watch how it shoots at you, Taylor.
Oh, look.
Iru is a he-man.
Okay, let's do it. 3, 2, 1.
Shoot your armor.
Let's not.
Okay, let's do it too. Which one is mine?
This one is yours.
Okay. 우리 룰루
먹겠습니다.
잘 먹겠습니다. 인사도 잘하네 우리 룰루. 채우도 한번 해볼까?
잘 먹겠습니다.
잘하네. 이루.
The kind of ho박 that I ate at Busan.
부산에서? 부산에서 무슨 호박을 먹었지? 아, 단호박? 아.
요셉은 이걸 서로 빼주고
뭔데?
여기 말이 있어. 네가 맞아 먹을 거야.
뭐를? 호박을?
수미야.
나 아까 전에 점심을 많이 먹어서 아직 배가 안 고파.
It says, can you get ho박?
목욕을 한번 하고 먹던지. 애들을 아예 시키고 재우고 먹던지. 우리 채우도 잘 먹네. 할머니가 맛있는 음식 많이 했네. 엄마가 제일 좋아하는 콩나물.
그리고 엄마 안 좋아하는 스팸.
엄마 스팸도 좋아하지. 밥이
무슨 동료?
돼지 아니야 돼지?
스팸?
장모님이 돼지로 저거 김치찜 같은 거 했어. 무 한번 보여줘봐.
무 밑에 거를
어두워서 잘 안 보이네. 우와, 무가 통째로 들어갔네. 이런 무를 몇 개나 넣었어?
뭐 한 모르겠어 개수는 있는 대로 다 넣은 건데 얻은 거 다 넣은 거지. 거든? 계속 이렇게 놔두면 안 된단 말이야. 이렇게 배하고 이런 건 다 건져내야 되고. 지금 내가